Hello everyone, welcome to the online lecture series of the Officers Academy. So today we will be studying a topic from the subject Indian Polity. The name of the topic is Preamble of the Indian Constitution. So let us see the subtopics that we will be studying today. तो before proceeding पहले ये देख लेते हैं कि कौन से बुक्स में से हमने ये टॉपिक कवर किया है. So first book is Indian Polity by M. Lakshmikant. So this is also termed as the Bible for Indian Polity. So ये बुक हमने कवर टू कवर पढ़ना है और इसे हमने इस चैप्टर के लिए पूरा कवर भी किया है. सेकेंडरी रेफरेंस के लिए वी हैव वेंट थ्रू द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ऑफ इंडिया गिवन बाय PM बख्शी. तो ये दोनों बुक्स हमने कवर कर लिए इस चैप्टर के लिए. Now these are the subtopics that we have covered today. Starting from the objective resolutions which were given by Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. So the preamble is inspired by this. Introduction to the preamble. The ideals and aspirations which are mentioned in the Indian Constitution. तो इसको हमने एक thorough analysis कर लिया है. Next is the nature and objective of the Indian state. Date of adoption of Indian Constitution. So we will come across two important dates जिसका significance हमने जानना है. Next important question, is preamble a part of the Constitution? तो yes or no with valid justification ये हमने देख लिया है. And the last part is amendability of preamble. That is, can any changes be made to the preamble? तो ये allowed है या नहीं, या अगर है तो किस manner में? So we have covered that part also. So let us quickly go through the original text of the preamble. So we will read it once. We the people of India having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign democratic republic and to secure to all its citizens justice, social, economic and political, liberty of thoughts, expression, belief, faith and worship, equality of status and of opportunity, and to promote among them all fraternity, assuring the dignity of the individual and the unity of the nation. In our Constituent Assembly, this 26th day of November 1949, do hereby adopt, enact and give to ourselves this Constitution. Now each and every word which is highlighted over here has a significant or meaning in the preamble. So this is what we will be seeing now. So on 22nd of January 1947, Constituent Assembly adopts the objective resolution given by Jawaharlal Nehru. Now we have to remember that drafting committee of the Constituent Assembly, तो जिन्होंने कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन बनाया, दिस वॉज अंडर द चेयरमैनशिप ऑफ डॉक्टर बाबा साहेब आम्बेडकर एंड द ऑब्जेक्टिव रेजोल्यूशन थ्रू विच द प्रीएम्बल इज इंस्पायर्ड वॉज गिवन बाय पंडित जवाहरलाल नेहरू. नाउ व्हाट इज द इंपॉर्टेंस ऑफ ऑब्जेक्टिव रेजोल्यूशन? तो इसके दो सिग्निफिकेंट है. फर्स्ट, it is the fundamental source of philosophy of the Indian Constitution. Second, it inspired the shaping up of the Indian Constitution through all its stages. So इसका मतलब ये होता है, whenever the Constitution was amended, the amendment to the Constitution is in the spirit of the objective resolution. So we will get a better glimpse of this when we will actually see what the objective resolution was. So let us see what were the key points mentioned in the objective resolution. So Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru read out his objective resolution in the Constituent Assembly on 13th of December 1946, 22nd January 1947. So is then the Constitution Assembly which was under the chairmanship of Dr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar. तो इन्होंने ये objective resolution को adopt किया in the form of preamble. So ये दोनों dates हमें याद रखने हैं. 13th December 1946 when Nehru actually read out the objective resolution and 22nd January 1947 when it was adopted in the Indian Constitution. So let us proceed. Let us see the key points in the objective resolution. तो ये कहता है India is declared as independent, sovereign and republic. So we were free from the clutches of the British Raj. Sovereign और republic इन दो words का meaning क्या है ये हम आगे देखेंगे. Next, India will be declared as a union of states. So point to be mentioned here is both Nehru and Dr. Ambedkar carefully selected the word union. They did not choose the word federation. Who will have the ultimate power? So ultimate power belongs with the people. So people will be the source of power. So ये suggest करता है that India choose the model of democracy. The Indian citizens will be guaranteed with justice, equality and liberty. The minority section and other depressed classes, that is the SC and STs, certain safeguards, constitutional safeguards will be created for them. Maintaining the territorial integrity of India, that is no state will have the right to secede. इसका मतलब कोई भी स्टेट इंडिया से सेपरेट नहीं हो सकता. And last is promotion of world peace. So these were the key points mentioned in the objective resolution given by Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. Now let us see our next part. What is the significance of preamble? So our question is, what is the importance of preamble? So we will see the two important points. First, it highlights the principles and the philosophy of the Indian Constitution. Second, the dreams and aspirations of the founding fathers of our Constitution. That is, even the founding fathers knew that Constitution of India will be an organic element. That is, it will keep on changing. तो जैसे तभी बनाया गया था ये वैसे ही नहीं रहेगा, इसमें changes लाए जाएंगे. But जो भी changes रहेंगे, in what direction they should be. So these changes or these amendments should be in the spirit of the Indian Constitution. So what exactly is the essence of the Constitution? That is highlighted in the preamble. Let us see some important quotations or keynotes which are given by some prominent personalities. First is K.M. Munshi. So K.M. Munshi says that preamble is like a horoscope of our sovereign democratic republic. That is, in what direction the Constitution will be amended in future, this should be in the spirit of the preamble. सेकेंड इज पंडित ठाकुरदास भारगया. तो ये कहते हैं प्रियम्बल इज लाइक द सोल ऑफ द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन. एंड थर्ड इज सर अर्नेस्ट बाकर. सो ही इज अ पॉलिटिकल साइंटिस्ट फ्रॉम यूके. सो ही सेज दैट प्रियम्बल इज लाइक अ की नोट ऑफ द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन. सो एक थीम हमें यहाँ पे आइडेंटिफाई करनी है, द कोटेशंस गिवन बाय प्रोमिनेंट पर्सनालिटीज विथ रिस्पेक्ट टू द प्रियम्बल. तो ये आपको याद रखना है. The Officers Academy e-learning platform, you can get benefited from various online correspondence courses available on it. Download our app on your mobile phone. It is freely available on Google Play Store as well as Apple App Store. Please look for this icon before downloading. Now, why you should join our online learning program? Let us see a few advantages of online learning. First being, study at your own time convenience. Now this is very helpful for those who are working professionals or who have rotational shifts. तो आप क्या कर सकते हो? You can watch one lecture in the morning and one lecture in the evening. Now general time duration of any lecture is of 45 to 50 minutes. सेकेंड इज स्टडी एट योर ओन पेस. तो अगर आपको कोई कंसेप्ट नहीं समझ में आ रहा तो आप वही लेक्चर दोबारा रिवाइंड कर सकते हो. सेकेंड, देर इज नो रेस्ट्रिक्शंस ऑन द नंबर ऑफ व्यूज. तो आप जितने बार चाहे उतने बार वो लेक्चर प्ले कर सकते हो. थर्ड इज सेव योर ट्रैवलिंग टाइम. नाउ जनरली क्लासेस के लिए ट्रैवल करने में जो टाइम लगने वाला है ये आपका टाइम बच जाएगा. सो इफ यू आर अ वर्किंग प्रोफेशनल, अगर जब भी हम कॉम्पिटिटिव एग्जाम्स के लिए प्रिपेयर करते हैं, नाउ टाइम इज द मोस्ट प्रीशियस रिसोर्स दैट वी हैव. सो एवरीबडी वांट्स टू सेव टाइम, तो इसमें आपका ट्रैवलिंग टाइम बच जाता है. फोर्थ इज कंफर्टेबल स्टडी लोकेशन. सो आफ्टर योर वर्किंग आवर्स या आप आपके घर पे बैठ के पढ़ाई कर सकते हो. whenever you are traveling for your office or for any other reason, so you can also watch the lectures that time. ये lectures offline mode में भी available है, so you can just download them and watch them in the offline mode as well. तो आपका traveling time भी productively use हो जाएगा. Next is lower cost of studying. Now what happens generally for the service provider, those who are providing the course, they get a benefit of economics of scale. So online coaching की जो fees होती है that is relatively less as compared to offline coaching. लास्ट इज इट इज़ द ओनली कोचिंग अवेलेबल इन इमरजेंसी सिचुएशंस. तो जैसे अभी हमने देख लिया था ड्यूरिंग द कोरोना वायरस एंड द कोविड-19, ऑफलाइन कोचिंग हैज़ टू बी शट डाउन बिकॉज ऑफ द लॉकडाउन अनाउंस्ड बाय द गवर्नमेंट. सो इन सच सिचुएशंस ऑनलाइन लर्निंग प्रोग्राम एक्टिव होता है. सो दीज आर अ फ्यू एडवांटेजेस ऑफ आवर ऑनलाइन लर्निंग प्रोग्राम. So in this part we will see the ideals and aspirations of Indian Constitution. First of all, what are ideals? Now ideals are like those principles which any person or any organization pursues as an objective or as a goal and tries to hold them all other values. जैसे हम इसका definition देख लेते हैं. Ideals, a principle or a value that an entity actively pursues as a goal and holds above other. So what are the values of the principles that the Indian Constitution holds above all? So let us get started with first, that is sovereign. Next is republic. Third is democratic. fourth is secular, and fifth is socialist. So these are the 5 ideals of Indian Constitution mentioned in the preamble. Next is aspirations. Now what are aspirations? Aspirations are ambition of achieving something. For example, currently you are a civil services aspirant. Okay, so to become a class 1 officer or to become an IAS IPS officer, this is your aspiration. That is the ambition of achieving something. So Indian Constitution के aspirations क्या है देख लेते हैं. Justice, next is liberty, third is equality, and fourth one being fraternity. Okay, so we have learned about the ideals and aspirations. अभी हर एक ideal and aspiration हम डेप्थ में देखेंगे. एक एरिया आपको याद रखना है. Now there are many times questions are asked on this part, so do not get confused or do not mix up ideals and aspirations. बहुत बार क्या होता है कि दे आस्क यू विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग इज एन आइडियल ऑफ द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन, और ऑप्शंस में शायद एक आध 2 एस्पिरेशंस भी दिए जाएंगे, तो यू हैव टू रिमेंबर देम वेरी केयरफुली. So let us start with the first ideal, that is sovereign. What is the meaning of it? अब इसका definition या इसके features जानने की हम कोशिश करते हैं. First, it says that India is an independent state and not a dominion nation. Now, what is the meaning of this term dominion nation or dominion status? So basically, when we were under the British rule, तो इन्होंने ये constitutional concept लाया dominion status, where any region will be an autonomous region but under the control of the British Empire. तो जैसे हम इंडिपेंडेंस के बाद हम कहते हैं दैट सोवरेन स्टेटस मींस इंडिया विल हैव कंप्लीट इंडिपेंडेंस. इट विल नो लॉन्गर बी अ डोमिनियन स्टेटस अंडर द ब्रिटिश रूल. Second is non-interference in India's internal matters and external affairs, meaning which focus on the term internal matters. That is, law-making in India will be a prerogative of the parliament. That is, किस तरह के लॉज बनाने हैं ये कौन डिसाइड करेगा? इंडियन पार्लियामेंट. नोबडी कैन फोर्स द इंडियन गवर्नमेंट to formulate any specific law. Second is external affairs. That is, our foreign policy will be decided by the government. Third point is accepting membership of any international organization does not affect India's sovereignty. What is the meaning of this? Now, after independence, we became a member of many of the international organizations. जैसे हमने यूनाइटेड नेशंस की मेंबरशिप एक्सेप्ट की, ब्रिक्स नेशन की मेंबरशिप हमने एक्सेप्ट की. सो इंडिया इज अ मेंबर टू मेनी इंटरनेशनल ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस, बट डज इट इन्फ्लुएंस और डज इट अफेक्ट इंडिया सोवरेनिटी? Answer comes out to be no. Still we are independent to make our decisions. Okay, जैसा हम एक example देख लेते हैं. Now India is a member of the BRICS nation, that is Brazil, Russia, India, China and South Africa. So we take many decisions or we sign many agreements, partnership agreements हम sign करते हैं. जैसे अभी BRICS bank has been formulated, but does it affect, can any BRICS influence or any of the country force India to formulate any kind of a law? Answer comes out to be no. The next part is India can acquire a foreign territory or cede a part of its territory in favor of a foreign state. तो first part देख लेते हैं. India can acquire a foreign territory. Now this can be via war or via a peaceful stage. Now India is a peace loving country, so we acquire by peaceful means. जैसे हम एक example ले लेते हैं सिक्किम का. Now Sikkim earlier was an independent state, then it became a protectorate state under India and ultimately assimilated as an Indian state. So we acquired a foreign territory via peaceful means. Second part भी देख लेते हैं. India can cede a part of its territory in favor of a foreign state. So this can be best explained with a recent example. Now recently India and Bangladesh signed a land boundary agreement. Now what was this about? तो ये एक एनक्लेव्स का इशू था. इट इज़ अ लॉन्ग स्टैंडिंग इशू बिटवीन इंडिया एंड बांग्लादेश. इसको हम ज़्यादा डेप्थ में पढ़ेंगे इंटरनेशनल रिलेशंस में. जस्ट लेट अस टेक अ ग्लिम्स ऑफ इट. नाउ व्हाट आर एनक्लेव्स? नाउ इट वाज अ टेरिटरी ऑफ बांग्लादेश which was within India. Second, some Indian territory which was a part of modern day Bangladesh. अभी इसकी हिस्ट्री काफ़ी है when both the regions were under the Indian subcontinent and there were princely states. तो ये सारी चीज़ें हम international relations में देखेंगे. So recently we signed an agreement with Bangladesh which was the exchange of enclaves. तो जो उनकी टेरिटरी थी इंडियन रीजन में वो हमने उन्हें वापस दे दी. सिमिलरली सेम एरिया जो हमारा था बांग्लादेश में वो हमने वापस ले लिया. सो दिस वाज अ लैंड बाउंड्री एग्रीमेंट बिटवीन इंडिया एंड बांग्लादेश. कमिंग बैक टू अवर पॉइंट, सी द सेकंड पार्ट ऑफ इट. India can cede a part of its territory in favor of a foreign state. So this recently we did it with Bangladesh. So this was about the sovereignty of India. अब इसमें हमें एक चीज़ याद रखनी है, Indian sovereignty is bounded by the international norms and international laws. So जो global laws है उसे हम sovereignty के नाम के अंडर ब्रेक नहीं कर सकते. So we have to abide by the international norms, जो हम काफ़ी अच्छी तरीके से करते भी है. Now let us see a few examples when India's sovereignty came in conflict with the international community. So कुछ current affairs के issues हम देख लेते हैं, so that this examples will explain you or make you understand sovereignty much better. So the US President Donald Trump, he made a statement, I would like to intervene to solve the Kashmir issue between India and Pakistan. तो जैसे आप जानते हो दैट कश्मीर इज अ लॉन्ग स्टैंडिंग डिस्प्यूट बिटवीन इंडिया एंड पाकिस्तान. इंडिया वांट्स टू कीप इट एज अ बायलैटरल इशू विद पाकिस्तान, बट पाकिस्तान एंड अदर कंट्रीज जैसे यूएसए है, यूके है, ये इसे इंटरनेशनलाइज करना चाहती है. सो लेट अस सी व्हाट वाज द रिप्लाई गिवन टू दिस स्टेटमेंट गिवन बाय यूएस प्रेसिडेंट डोनाल्ड ट्रंप. तो हमारे एक्सटर्नल अफेयर्स मिनिस्टर डॉक्टर एस जयशंकर, तो आपको ये पता होना चाहिए ही इज ऑल्सो अ फॉर्मर डिप्लोमेट, इंडिया फॉरेन सेक्रेटरी ये रह चुके हैं, एंड IFS ऑफिसर, प्लस ही इज ऑल्सो अ डॉक्टरेट इन इंटरनेशनल रिलेशंस. तो इन्होंने तुरंत इसे जवाब दिया. सो मिनिस्टर एस जयशंकर सेज इंडिया इज अ सोवरिन स्टेट एंड कश्मीर इशू इज अवर एक्सटर्नल अफेयर्स मैटर. तो जैसे हमने पहले देखा था सोवरिनिटी में, सोवरिनिटी डील्स विथ नो इंटरफेरेंस विद इन द इंटरनल मैटर्स एज वेल एज एक्सटर्नल अफेयर्स. तो तुरंत इन्होंने इसका जवाब दे दिया. मोमेंट दिस रिप्लाई वॉज गिवन, अगेन डोनाल्ड ट्रंप केम अप विद अ स्टेटमेंट. तो अभी ये कहते हैं आई वुड लाइक टू मीडिएट इन द कश्मीर इशू ओनली इफ प्राइम मिनिस्टर मोदी आस्क मी टू डू सो. दैट इज, ये आपको बता देना चाहिए, इंटरनेशनल मीडिएशन या इंटरवेंशन हो सकता है, बट वेन ओनली वेन द होस्ट स्टेट डिसाइड्स. तो अगर हम यूएसए को कहे कि आप भाई कश्मीर में मीडिएट कीजिए, तभी यूएसए यहाँ पे मीडिएट कर सकता है. अगर हम यूएस इंटरफेरेंस नहीं चाहते हैं, सो यूएसए डज नॉट हैव एनी राइट टू मीडिएट इन कश्मीर. सो दैट विल ब्रीच अवर सोवरेनिटी. एक और एग्जांपल देख लेते हैं, इश्यूज चैलेंजिंग सोवरेनिटी. दिस टाइम वी विल टेक एन एग्जांपल ऑफ इंटरनल अफेयर्स, दैट इज लॉ मेकिंग. तो जैसे हमने देखा था, सोवरेनिटी ऑल्सो कंसर्न्स विद लॉ मेकिंग एंड लॉ रिपीलिंग, मतलब एक लॉ बनाना या एक लॉ को कैंसिल करना, रद्द करना. So we will take the issues, statements which were made internationally on India's decision to abrogate Article 370. तो जैसे आपने देखा Article 370 which dealt with the special status given to Jammu and Kashmir. So recently हमने इसे रिपील कर दिया या एब्रोगेट कर दिया इंडियन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में से. तो जैसे हमने ये किया, some international statements were made. First by Pakistan. So Imran Khan कहते हैं that India's abrogation of Article 370 is violation of international norms and injustice against Kashmir. तो इनका स्टेटमेंट होने के बाद चाइनाज प्रेसिडेंट शी जिनपिंग, तो जैसे ये इनके ऑल वेदर फ्रेंड है पाकिस्तान के, सो इमीडिएटली दे मेड अ स्टेटमेंट, China is greatly concerned about the happenings in Kashmir and formation of the Union Territory of Ladakh. तो जैसे ये स्टेटमेंट्स हो गए, सो हमारे प्राइम मिनिस्टर मोदी जी ने बड़ी शांति से इन्हें एक जवाब दिया. सो मोदी जी कहते हैं दैट आर्टिकल 370 एंड कश्मीर इज इंडियाज इंटरनल मैटर. Okay, so India does not comment on the internal affairs of other countries and similarly expects other countries to do likewise. तो जैसे we never comment on the human rights violation done by Pakistan in Balochistan region. We never comment on the condition of the Uyghur Muslims in the Xinjiang province of China. तो वैसे ही इन्होंने भी, जैसे हम आर्टिकल 370 एब्रोगेट करें या आर्टिकल 370 को इंडियन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में मेंटेन करें, दिस इज प्योरली आवर इंटरनल डिसीजन and other countries do not have any right to comment on it. So this was also an example with respect to breach of sovereignty. The Officers Academy e-learning platform, you can get benefited from various online correspondence courses available on it. Download our app on your mobile phone. It is freely available on Google Play Store as well as Apple App Store. Please look for this icon before downloading. So let us see a few features of our online learning program. Get live lectures from top educators. Now the best lecturers from Delhi, subject specialists as well as retired officers will be delivering lectures on this platform. Download ample amount of free study material. The classes, notes, e-books will be uploaded on the app. Current affairs material will be regularly provided. Free online test series. Now test series will be in time bound nature, so you can get topical test, subject wise test, sectional test as well as full length test. A report will be provided to you once you solve the test. Get exam notifications. So whenever any competitive exam is out, we will tell you the schedule of the examination, so you can check the important dates on the app. Best online courses available at the most affordable price. Now our aim is to provide you with quality coaching at the most reasonable price. There is a saying in civil services, delay is directly proportional to frustration. So without any delay, download our free app. It is available on Google Play Store as well as on the App Store. So just look out for this icon and download our app. So let us take a quick glance at the different online courses provided by the Officers Academy. Now why you should join our online learning program? Let us see a few advantages of online learning. First being, study at your own time convenience. Now this is very helpful for those who are working professionals or who have rotational shifts. तो आप क्या कर सकते हो? You can watch one lecture in the morning and one lecture in the evening. Now general time duration of any lecture is of 45 to 50 minutes. सेकेंड इज स्टडी एट योर ओन पेस. तो अगर आपको कोई कंसेप्ट नहीं समझ में आ रहा तो आप वही लेक्चर दोबारा रिवाइंड कर सकते हो. सेकेंड, देर इज नो रेस्ट्रिक्शंस ऑन द नंबर ऑफ व्यूज. तो आप जितने बार चाहे उतने बार वो लेक्चर प्ले कर सकते हो. थर्ड इज सेव योर ट्रैवलिंग टाइम. नाउ जनरली क्लासेस के लिए ट्रैवल करने में जो टाइम लगने वाला है ये आपका टाइम बच जाएगा. सो इफ यू आर अ वर्किंग प्रोफेशनल, अगर जब भी हम कॉम्पिटिटिव एग्जाम्स के लिए प्रिपेयर करते हैं, नाउ टाइम इज द मोस्ट प्रीशियस रिसोर्स दैट वी हैव. सो एवरीबडी वांट्स टू सेव टाइम, तो इसमें आपका ट्रैवलिंग टाइम बच जाता है. फोर्थ इज कंफर्टेबल स्टडी लोकेशन. सो आफ्टर योर वर्किंग आवर्स या आप आपके घर पे बैठ के पढ़ाई कर सकते हो. whenever you are traveling for your office or for any other reason, so you can also watch the lectures that time. ये lectures offline mode में भी available है, so you can just download them and watch them in the offline mode as well. तो आपका traveling time भी productively use हो जाएगा. Next is lower cost of studying. Now what happens generally for the service provider, those who are providing the course, they get a benefit of economics of scale. So online coaching की जो fees होती है, that is relatively less as compared to offline coaching. लास्ट इज इट इज ओनली कोचिंग अवेलेबल इन इमरजेंसी सिचुएशंस. तो जैसे अभी हमने देख लिया था ड्यूरिंग द कोरोना वायरस एंड द कोविड-19, ऑफलाइन कोचिंग हैज टू बी शट डाउन बिकॉज ऑफ द लॉकडाउन अनाउंस्ड बाय द गवर्नमेंट. सो इन सच सिचुएशंस ऑनलाइन लर्निंग प्रोग्राम एक्टिव होता है. सो दीज आर अ फ्यू एडवांटेजेस ऑफ आवर ऑनलाइन लर्निंग प्रोग्राम. We have sent you the app download link. Also, it is mentioned in the description section given below. We have sent you the app download link. Also, it is mentioned in the description section given below. Our next ideal is Republic. Now we celebrate Republic Day on every 26th of January. So what is the meaning of this term Republic? So Republic means head of the state in India shall be elected. अभी याद रखिए, we have two terms, head of the state and head of the government. So head of the state in India shall be President of India, head of the government shall be Prime Minister. तो Republic का meaning क्या होता है? Head of the state in India shall always be elected. This election can be a direct election और अ इनडायरेक्ट इलेक्शन. तो जैसा हम जाते हैं, वी नेवर गो फॉर इलेक्शंस और वोटिंग फॉर द प्रेसिडेंशियल इलेक्शन. ओके, सो हम किसे वोट करते हैं? वी वोट ड्यूरिंग द पार्लियामेंटरी इलेक्शंस, दैट इज फॉर द मेंबर ऑफ पार्लियामेंट या स्टेट लेजिस्लेटिव असेंबली के लिए. प्रेसिडेंशियल इलेक्शंस के दौरान हम वोटिंग के लिए नहीं जाते. तो प्रेसिडेंट को कौन इलेक्ट करते हैं? ही इज इलेक्टेड बाय द एमपीज एंड द एमएलएज. तो इनडायरेक्टली वी इलेक्ट द प्रेसिडेंट, बट एंड ऑफ द डे प्रेसिडेंट इन इंडिया इज इलेक्टेड. तो इसका मीनिंग क्या है? प्रेसिडेंट इन इंडिया इज नॉट अ कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल मोनार्क, मतलब ये हेरिडिटरी से नहीं आते. ही और शी इज ऑलवेज इलेक्टेड. इन इंडिया प्रेसिडेंट इज इलेक्टेड बाय इनडायरेक्ट इलेक्शन. सो जो अभी हमने डिस्कस किया, दैट इज इट. नेक्स्ट, रिपब्लिक ऑल्सो मीन्स पब्लिक ऑफिसेस इन इंडिया will be open to all citizens without any discrimination. तो ब्रिटिश टाइम्स जैसा नहीं. Now some of the public offices during the British times were open only for the educated Indians or only for the elite rich Indians. तो अभी वैसा नहीं होगा. There won't be any discrimination with respect to the services provided by the public offices. Let us compare our constitutional position with UK. Now in UK, United Kingdoms, the head of the state is a constitutional monarch. ठीक है, तो जैसे हमारे यहाँ पे इलेक्शंस होते हैं, प्रेसिडेंशियल इलेक्शंस, वैसे यूके में नहीं होते. सो हु इज देयर कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल मोनार्क? दैट इज क्वीन एलिजाबेथ. तो ये हेरिडिटरी, इनके ही फैमिली में ये पोजीशन सर्कुलेट होते रहेगी. नाउ सी, दिस इज देयर फैमिली ट्री. तो अभी आप गेस कर लीजिए हु विल बी द नेक्स्ट हेड ऑफ द स्टेट. या अगर आपको आपके किसी दोस्त को परेशान करना है तो ये फोटो उन्हें भेज दीजिए एंड आस्क देम टू फाइंड आउट हु विल बी द नेक्स्ट हेड ऑफ द स्टेट इन यूके. सो लेट अस कम टू द थर्ड आइडिया, दैट इज डेमोक्रेटिक. What is the meaning of this term democratic या democracy? So democracy means the doctrine of popular sovereignty says ultimate power will lie with the people. Now democracy can be of different types. There can be a direct democracy or an indirect democracy. So in case of India, we are a case of indirect representative parliamentary democracy. तो इसका मतलब क्या होता है? तो हम डेमोक्रेसी के कुछ फीचर्स देखते हैं. जैसे फर्स्ट, यूनिवर्सल एडल्ट फ्रेंचाइज. देखिए, every citizen of India who has completed 18 years of age and has registered with the Election Commission of India. तो जिसके पास भी इलेक्शन कार्ड है, he or she has the right to vote. This is what we mean by universal adult franchise. इसका मतलब ये नहीं that the voting rights will be very selective. जैसे ब्रिटिश के ज़माने में हुआ करता था, only few people had the right to vote. So this was discriminated on the basis of their education, on the basis of their wealth, etc. तो अभी वैसा नहीं होगा. Okay, in spite of the category of the people, that is rich, poor, literate, illiterate, any Indian citizen who has completed 18 years of age and registered with Election Commission of India will have the right to vote. Next, the value of every vote will be equal. So one person is equal to one vote. तो इसके वैल्यू में भी कोई डिस्क्रिमिनेशन नहीं होगा. नेक्स्ट, पीरियोडिक इलेक्शंस विल बी हेल्ड. तो जैसे हम देखते हैं कि 5 साल बाद पार्लियामेंटरी इलेक्शंस इंडिया में होते रहते हैं. नेक्स्ट फीचर ऑफ डेमोक्रेसी इज जुडिशरी शैल बी इंडिपेंडेंस. तो जुडिशरी पे किसी भी तरह का दबाव नहीं होगा विथ रिस्पेक्ट टू द अपॉइंटमेंट ऑफ जजेस, देयर ट्रांसफर, देयर रिमूवल. Safeguard has been provided to the judiciary so that they can dispense justice in a free and fair manner. And the last point is not only political but also economic and social democracy will be ensured in India. So जैसे हम economic democracy के कुछ features देखते हैं, there won't be any concentration of wealth in few hands. या social democracy में हम देखते हैं कि जो depressed classes है या deprived classes है, state comes for their rescue. So these are few features of democracy. पार्लियामेंटरी डेमोक्रेसी का भी एक फॉर्म देख लीजिए. जैसे हम वोटिंग करते हैं, सो दीज आर आवर रिप्रेजेंटेटिव्स, दैट इज अ मेंबर ऑफ पार्लियामेंट और द मेंबर ऑफ लेजिस्लेटिव असेंबली हु रिप्रेजेंट आवर कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंसी और आवर एस्पिरेशंस इन द पार्लियामेंट. The next ideal mentioned in the constitution is secular. Now what is the meaning of this term secular? Now this word secular did not exist originally in the constitution. This word was added in the preamble by the 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act of 1976. अभी ये आपको याद रखना है, even though this word secular was not present in the preamble, still the secular features were already added in the fundamental rights. तो जब भी हम ये चैप्टर पढ़ेंगे fundamental rights, तो उसमें हम ये secular provisions देख लेंगे. पहले what is the meaning of this term secular? So secular means state shall not hold any religion as the official religion of the state. ठीक है, तो let any religion be in majority or minority, it shall not be declared as the official religion of the state. All religions will be given equal status in India. तो जिसे हम कहते हैं सर्वधर्म समभाव, all religions given equal status in India. State shall equally support all religions. तो जैसे हम देखते हैं विद इन इंडिया, नाउ हिंदूज आर इन मेजोरिटी, बट हैज द इंडियन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन डिक्लेयर्ड हिंदुइज्म एज द ऑफिशियल रिलीजन ऑफ द स्टेट? आंसर कम्स आउट टू बी नो. हम कहते हैं इंडिया इज अ सेक्युलर स्टेट. नाउ लेट अस सी सम एग्जांपल्स. फॉर एग्जांपल ईरान. नाउ ईरान इज अ कंट्री विच इज नॉट सेक्युलर, सो इट हैज डिक्लेयर्ड शिया इस्लाम एज इट्स ऑफिशियल रिलीजन. Our next ideal is socialist. Now what is the meaning of this term socialist? Socialist means, जैसे हमने देखा था कि after Cold War, two camps originated in the world. Capitalist camp under the leadership of USA and socialist camp under the leadership of USSR. Now what is the difference between the two terms? Slightly देख लेते हैं. In capitalism, market forces dominate or control the economy. With socialism, the state, that is government, it controls the means of production. The means of production like capital, land, labor, this is controlled by the state. So let us see some features of Indian socialism. Now again, this word or this term socialist, क्या ये preamble में पहले से था? Answer is no. It was added by the 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act. तो हम इसे just recall करेंगे. Secular and socialist ये पहले से preamble में मौजूद नहीं थे. They were added by the 42nd Constitutional Amendment. Amendment मतलब क्या? Changes made to the Constitution. Now India will not be a state socialism but a democratic socialism. So Indira Gandhi ji, the former Prime Minister of India, so she marked this term that India will endorse democratic socialism. इसका मतलब क्या होता है? जैसे for example USSR. Now USSR was a state socialism. State completely dominated the economy. तो हम वैसे नहीं करेंगे. इंडिया शैल बी अ मिक्स्ड इकोनॉमी. सो हमारे यहाँ पे स्टेट भी रहेगा, दैट इज गवर्नमेंट विल बी अ प्लेयर इन द इकोनॉमी. अलॉन्ग विद द गवर्नमेंट, अलॉन्ग विद द पब्लिक सेक्टर, even private sector will be a part of the economy. So basically Indian economy will be a mixed economy where both private sector and state, that is government, public sector, will play a part. So once decided that state will be a part of the economy or it will be a player, what kind of role will be played by the state? First, state will provide the essential commodities. जैसे for example, those areas in which the private sector is not very enthusiastic. For example, construction of roads, electricity, etc., which are necessities without which the developmental needs of India will not be satisfied. तो state will hold it as a priority. तो इसमें state ज़्यादा काम करेगा. Second is it will focus on public welfare, for example reduction of poverty. Now this won't be a motto of the private sector. Private sector will focus more on profits. तो इस areas में, public welfare areas में ज़्यादा priority कौन देगा या ज़्यादा काम कौन करेगा? That will be government. Next is state will also play a role of the regulator. For example, जैसे अभी हमारे यहाँ पे बहुत सारे private entities है. So whether they are engaged in a fair competition, ये है या नहीं, ये कौन maintain करेगा? It will be done by the state. For example, एक example ले लेते हैं, mutual funds. Now who is the regulator of the mutual funds? It is regulated by SEBI. Banks are regulated by RBI. जैसे हम इंश्योरेंस सेक्टर देखते हैं, इट इज रेगुलेटेड बाय IRDA. द कॉम्पिटिशन बिटवीन डिफरेंट प्राइवेट कंपनीज, इट इज रेगुलेटेड बाय द कॉम्पिटिशन कमीशन ऑफ इंडिया. सो दिस विल बी द डिफरेंट एजेंसीज ऑफ द स्टेट विच विल एक्ट एज अ रेगुलेटर. सो इन टोटल दिस इज व्हाट वी मीन बाय डेमोक्रेटिक सोशलिज्म. So till now we have seen the ideals of Indian Constitution, ideals like sovereign, republic, democratic, secular and socialist. अभी हम देखेंगे what are the aspirations of Indian Constitution. So let us get started with it. First aspiration is justice. Now Constitution of India, it not only guarantees political justice but also social and economic justice. तो in terms का क्या meaning है ये भी हम देख लेते हैं. Political justice, equal political rights will be given to the citizen of India. What is the meaning of it? There shall be no discrimination on the basis of religion, caste, race, gender, etc. So every citizen of India will have equal political rights, equal access to the political offices and equal voice in the government. So every section of the society will be equally represented in the parliament or in any of the government office. Okay, तो जैसे हम देखते हैं there are reservations which are there, provision of reservations है. So this is to ensure political justice. Second point is economic justice. Non-discrimination of people on the basis of economic factor. तो जैसे हमने देखा था कि ब्रिटिश राज के टाइम only those individuals who had a certain amount of wealth or who had the land owning rights, तो इन्हें ही voting rights दिए जाते थे. So there was class based differentiation. तो अभी ऐसा नहीं है. Rich or poor, the value of vote of every individual will be same. Government will also try to reduce the income inequality. तो जैसे हमने देखा था, there was a phase in which during the tenure of former Prime Minister Indira Gandhi ji, nationalization of banks took place. So why was this initiative? One of the motto behind this initiative was to reduce the concentration of wealth in few hands. Next, state will also support the poor classes. So state does it with the help of subsidies, government schemes. You know that for below poverty line population, जिसे हम BPL population कहते हैं, so state brings about a host of schemes. For example, प्रधानमंत्री अंत्योदय योजना. सो हु आर द एक्सट्रीम पुअर या जहाँ पे एब्जेक्ट पॉवर्टी है, सो फॉर देम सर्टन सब्सिडीज और फूड अलाउंसेस, दीज आर प्रोवाइडेड बाय द गवर्नमेंट. Next is social justice. No discrimination on basis of religion, caste, gender, place of birth, etc. And state putting efforts for the improvement of the deprived classes. So जैसा हमने देखा, government comes out with different kinds of welfare schemes to ensure the social justice. So in justice kind of thing, we have three things: political, economic and social. The next aspiration of the Indian Constitution is liberty. Now what do we mean by this term liberty? So liberty means or expresses freedom. तो जैसा हमने देखा, absence of any restraint, so there won't be any kind of force or the government won't be much forceful. It will respect the aspirations of the people. So liberty basically means freedom from any kind of restraint. So what kind of liberty we will have? We will have liberty of thought, we can have liberty of belief, liberty of faith, etc. तो जैसे हमने देखा, suppose if you are an Indian citizen and if you are not very happy with the decisions of the government, so can you express your dissatisfaction? आंसर कम्स आउट टू बी येस. तो अगर कोई गवर्नमेंट पॉलिसी है, गवर्नमेंट ने कोई लॉ फॉर्मुलेट किया where you feel that government has done something wrong, now this is your opinion, can you express it? So liberty permits you to do that. Yes, you can do that. जैसे हम एक एग्जांपल ले लेते हैं for the Lokpal bill. Now people were fed up with the corruption at the higher level, corruption at the day-to-day administration. So people demanded a new institution which will tackle it. That is the institution of Lokpal and Lokayukta. तो इसके लिए एक बहुत बड़ा जन आंदोलन हुआ under the leadership of Anna Hazare ji. Okay, so this is also an example of expression of your aspiration or expression of your dissatisfaction with the government. एक थोड़ा याद रखिए, when a person can be called anti-national only if he or she does something which is against the country or against the state. If you express your dissatisfaction against the government, so it does not amount to be anti-national. Coming back to it, this feature of liberty. So Indian Constitution was inspired from the फ्रेंच रेवोल्यूशन. ये आप फ्रेंच रेवोल्यूशन पढ़ोगे वर्ल्ड हिस्ट्री में. टिल डेट फ्रांस इज कंसिडर्ड टू बी अ कंट्री विच एक्सप्रेसेस और विच हैज हाईएस्ट डिग्री ऑफ लिबर्टी. एक चीज हमें याद रखनी है, हाउएवर दिस लिबर्टी परमिटेड बाय द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन, दिस इज नॉट एब्सोल्यूट बट क्वालिफाइड. तो ऐसा नहीं कि लिबर्टी के नाम के नीचे आप जो मर्जी आए वो करो, ऐसा नहीं होता. लेट अस ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड. यू कैन एक्सप्रेस योर राइट टू लिबर्टी बट स्टेइंग विद इन द फ्रेमवर्क ऑफ लॉ. सो जो भी नेशनल लॉज है, स्टेट लॉज है, इसे आपको रिस्पेक्ट करना है. लेट अस टेक एन एग्जांपल. जैसे हमने देखा कि इन लिबर्टी देयर इज फ्रीडम टू एक्सप्रेस योर थॉट वाया राइटिंग, ओरली एक्सेट्रा. तो सपोज आपने किसी व्यक्ति के बारे में कुछ ऐसा कह दिया या ऐसा लिख दिया विच इज नॉट फैक्चुअल, इट डज नॉट हैव एनी एविडेंस, इट इज ओनली अ हाइपोथेसिस टिल नाउ. And because of your writing, the image of that person got degraded or the image of that reputation of that person got maligned. So in that case, the law allows that person to file a case of defamation against you. तो जैसा हमने देखा कि liberty is not absolute in India, but it is qualified. So of course you can exercise your right, but to stay within by staying within the framework of law. Our next aspiration is equality. Now what kind of equality is ensured by the constitution? Equality before law, that is any individual irrespective of the religion, race, caste, gender, every individual will be equal before law. Equal opportunity, the state shall play a role or the state shall ensure equality of opportunity. Just एक example ले लेते हैं. Now state guides the economy. So the economic growth should not be in such a way that only a certain selected section or a certain selected sector gets the opportunity in the economy. So economic growth भी necessary है, plus the direction of the growth is also necessary to ensure justice to every section or every community. Next is equality में abolition of titles. Now this is also very important. Now titles, these were given by the Britishers. जैसे for example titles like Nawab, titles like Rao Bahadur, Maharaj, etc. तो इससे क्या होता था? That person used to get an unequal status or that person was considered to be superior as compared to others. But now Indian Constitution under Article 18 of Fundamental Right, it talks about abolition of titles. ठीक है, तो अभी किसी का नाम महाराजा, नवाब ऐसे नहीं हो सकता. You have to be called by your first name. तो इसके आगे आप टाइटल्स नहीं लगा सकते because titles was giving a unequal status or a superior status to that person. Now how do we ensure equality? So the provisions related or articles related to equality are mentioned in the fundamental rights which are enforceable in the court of law as well as in the DPSP, that is Directive Principle of State Policy. Our next aspiration is fraternity. What do we mean by fraternity? So fraternity means brotherhood. तो जैसा हमने देखा, what are the features of fraternity? A sense of brotherhood should be there amongst the citizen. So if any person is promoting any hate speeches जिसके वजह से communities के बीच में दरार हो या communalism को और nourishment मिले, so such activities are prohibited by the law. Fraternity should also preserve the dignity of the individual. तो ऐसा नहीं that the person is only surviving. This survival should not be a animal existence. तो इसे एक दर्जेदार लाइफ मिलनी चाहिए. दैट इज द डिग्निटी ऑफ द इंडिविजुअल शुड बी एंश्योर्ड. एंड नेक्स्ट इज फ्रैटर्निटी शुड ऑल्सो टेक केयर अबाउट द यूनिटी ऑफ द नेशन. तो ऐसा नहीं दैट इंडिया इज ओनली टेरिटोरियली यूनाइटेड, या टेरिटोरियल इंटीग्रिटी तो है, देयर शुड ऑल्सो बी साइकोलॉजिकल और इमोशनल इंटीग्रिटी अमॉन्ग्स द सिटीजन. सो दिस इज एंश्योर्ड बाय फ्रैटर्निटी. The Officers Academy Classroom Coaching Module. Let us see a few features of it. First is thought-provoking lectures. Now lectures are designed in such a manner that we start every chapter with a very basic concept of it. ऐसा क्यों है? Because candidates are from different academic background. So कोई science stream से रहता है, कोई arts से, commerce, engineering, medical backgrounds, etc. So we start with the very basics of each topic. Aim is to give you a conceptual clarity. Here at the Officers Academy, we believe in providing you with knowledge and not just giving you mere information. Updated study material and notes. Now in study material we will be providing you with the flow charts, structures, mind maps of each topics as well as the current affairs notes. Study plan for each candidate. Now every candidate has different duration of time available with him. For example, some candidates might be undergraduate, so they might be engaged in their college studies. Some might be preparing full time, so they have 8 hours to prepare for the examination. Some might be working candidates, so they might hardly get 3 to 4 hours for preparation. So for every candidate, we prepare a study plan. Aim is to strategize your attempt. On day 1, you should have a complete clarity. Your preparation should be time bound as well as target bound. So according to the study plan, you have to study for the week. You have to be accountable to yourself. Next is our weekly test series. Now when you attend the lectures on a regular basis, that will be the input part, but whether you are studying according to your study plan, whether you are studying in the right direction, that will be tested by our test series. Now test series will be in 3 mode. First, a topical test which will be on weekly basis, then sectional test which will be a test of the entire subject, and finally the full length test which will be like our regular mocks, the same as the way they are asked in the examination. Interview training by retired officers. Now we have to understand that interview is basically a test of your personality. So whether you have developed the officer like qualities or not, that will be assessed by the serving and retired officers. Reading room facility is also available. So those candidates after your lectures, if you wish to study or take the benefit of our reading room facility, you can do that so that you can complete your daily studies in the classes itself and then go home. So these were a few features of our classroom coaching module. So those aspirants who wish to know more, attend a free counseling session and a demo lecture. So you can visit our Thane or Nerul branch, or you can also contact us on the number mentioned above. Now another important area, date of adoption of Indian Constitution. देखिए 3 वर्ड्स पे फोकस दीजिए, adoption, enactment and enforcement. So 26th November 1949. Focus on the date 26th November. Constitution of India was adopted and enacted. 26th January 1950. Constitution was completely enforced. Now what is the difference? What is the meaning? कुछ exam related key areas देख लेते हैं. 26 November 1949. Constitution was adopted and enacted. इसका मतलब क्या? Some articles of the Constitution came into force from this very date, that is 26 November से ये articles were enforced, but remaining articles, or when we say that when did entire Constitution came into force, it was on 26 January 1950. अबे ऐसा हमने क्यों किया? There is a symbolic gesture to this date 26 January. Why did we choose date 26 January? So back then, when India was under the British Raj, in the Lahore session of Indian National Congress, 1929 December, तो ये तय किया था कि 26 January 1930, this shall be celebrated as the first Independence Day. Though even though physically तो हमें ब्रिटिशर्स से इंडिपेंडेंस नहीं मिला था, but it was decided that people will celebrate independence at least in their heart. So this date 26 January 1930, it was celebrated as the first Independence Day. Indian tricolor flag was hoisted everywhere on the schools, government buildings, etc. So to give a symbolic gesture to this date 26 January, it was decided that remaining articles of the Constitution, we will celebrate the Republic Day in the memory of the enforcement of Constitution every year on 26 January. So let us go ahead with the ingredients of the preamble. तो ये भी हमने याद रखने हैं. फर्स्ट वन, अगर आपको क्वेश्चन आता है व्हाट इज द सोर्स ऑफ अथॉरिटी ऑफ कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन, सो आंसर फॉर दिस विल बी पीपल ऑफ इंडिया. देखिए जब हमने स्टार्टिंग में प्रीएम्बल देखा था, सो हाउ डज द प्रीएम्बल स्टार्ट? वी द पीपल ऑफ इंडिया solemnly resolve to constitute India into a. तो देखिए वी द पीपल, ओके, और इसके एंडिंग लाइंस भी देख लीजिए. in our Constituent Assembly this 26th day of November 1949 do hereby adopt, enact and give to ourselves this constitution. That is, constitution is gifted by the people to the people, though technically it was drafted by the drafting committee of the Constituent Assembly. Second area, what will be the nature of Indian state? So ये भी हमने already देख लिया है. Look at the ideals. The Indian state will be a sovereign state. It will be a republic. That is, the head of the state will be indirectly elected. Democratic. That is, there will be universal adult franchise or the supreme power will lie with the people. Secular. No religion shall be declared as the official religion of the state. And socialist. That is, government will play a role in the economy. Next area is objective of our constitution. So objective are the aspirations, that is justice, liberty, equality and fraternity. Next important question, is preamble a part of the constitution? So let us see, many of the times this question has been raised or this issue went to the Supreme Court. So let us see what were the judgment given by Supreme Court. So initially, first time जब ये issue whether preamble is a part of the constitution or not, जब ये courts में गया, so in the Berubari Union case 1960, Supreme Court gave a judgment that preamble is not a part to the constitution or not a part of the Constitution of India. जो हमने last time लिखा है COI, it stands for Constitution of India. But later, one of the most important cases, that is a Kesavananda Bharati case, again when this question went to Supreme Court. So Supreme Court recorrected itself and this time it stated that yes, preamble is a part of the Indian Constitution. दोबारा जब ये LIC of India case 1995, again Supreme Court upheld its own judgment stating that preamble is a part of the Constitution. So to conclude, what is the current opinion? Preamble is a part of Indian Constitution. So अगर आपको ये सवाल एग्जाम में आया, is preamble a part of Constitution? Answer will be yes, it is a part of Constitution. अभी दो important चीजें हमें preamble की याद रखनी है. First, it is not a source of power to the legislature, neither a prohibition upon it. Second, preamble is non-justiciable या non-enforceable. So you cannot move to the court of law for the enforcement of the ideals and the aspirations given in the preamble. It is for the court to decide. Yeah, rather the preamble is not backed by any other law. Amendability of preamble. Can the preamble be amended? मतलब preamble में क्या हम कोई changes कर सकते हैं? So answer for this is yes. The preamble can be amended. So for example, the ruling government by passing the bill or the constitutional amendment bill in the parliament, ये preamble को amend कर सकते हैं. But कैसे? First, preamble can be amended only in a positive manner. That is, you can add some features. अभी देखिए, for example, हमने पहले देखा था that via 42nd Amendment Act, these words like socialist, secular and integrity were added in the preamble. मतलब देखिए आप, preamble cannot be amended in a negative manner. ठीक है? So anything which hurts the interest of Indian democracy or which hurts the interest of people, so this cannot be removed from the preamble. तो अगर ऐसे changes किए, so it won't be in the spirit of Indian Constitution. So second हम देखते हैं, preamble can be amended but without affecting the basic structure of the Constitution. अभी ये हमने याद रखना है. बेसिक स्ट्रक्चर डॉक्ट्रिन, दिस इज अ जुडिशियल डॉक्ट्रिन. इसको हम पढ़ेंगे इन द चैप्टर ऑफ फंडामेंटल राइट्स. तो बेसिक स्ट्रक्चर डॉक्ट्रिन, इसका एक ग्लिम्स अभी हम देख लेते हैं. एनी फंडामेंटल फीचर ऑफ द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ऑफ इंडिया कैनॉट बी चेंज, दैट इज वेदर इट इज मेंशन्ड इन द प्रीएम्बल, फंडामेंटल राइट्स, DPASPs, एनीथिंग विच हर्ट्स द स्पिरिट ऑफ द इंडियन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन कैनॉट बी हर्टेड. ये किसमें कहा गया है? बेसिक स्ट्रक्चर डॉक्ट्रिन में. तो अगर गवर्नमेंट को प्रीएम्बल में कोई चेंजेस करने हैं तो वो कर सकता है, बट विदाउट डिस्टर्बिंग द बेसिक स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन. ओके, सो आई होप देयर इज अ कंप्लीट क्लैरिटी हाउ द प्रीएम्बल कैन बी अमेंडेड. So stay connected with us, never miss an important lecture. You might never know which examination you clear and that might be a life-changing event for you. So kindly subscribe to our YouTube channel. Press on the bell icon so that whenever we update or upload any important lecture, so you might get a notification for it. If you have appreciated our quality of coaching and efforts, do like our lectures. share this video with your friends so that even they get benefited from it. Coming to the next part, assignment questions. हालांकि everything, majority of the areas we have covered from this part. So still you can take some questions. Study about the formation of Constituent Assembly. तो इसके members कैसे elect किए गए थे ये एक बार देख लीजिए. Next, learn the sources of Indian Constitution. This is very important. Now, Indian Constitution has been inspired from many other constitutions of the world. So, कौन से country से हमने कौन सा feature borrow किया है ये एक बार देख लीजिए. थर्ड, स्टडी द बेसिक स्ट्रक्चर डॉक्ट्रिन. इसको हम डेप्थ में डिस्कस करेंगे ड्यूरिंग आवर लेक्चर ऑफ फंडामेंटल राइट्स. फोर्थ, स्टडी द पार्ट्स एंड स्केड्यूल्स ऑफ इंडियन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन. तो जैसा हम जानते हैं दैट इंडियन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन इज वन ऑफ द लेंथीएस्ट कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ऑफ द वर्ल्ड. इट हैज ऑलमोस्ट 395 आर्टिकल्स. अमेंडमेंट के साथ अगर हम देखें तो 450 प्लस हो जाते हैं ये. तो ये आर्टिकल्स डिवाइड किए गए हैं पार्ट्स एंड स्केड्यूल्स में. तो ये भी एक बार आपको देखना है. नेक्स्ट इज सॉल्व लास्ट 10 years प्रीवियस ईयर क्वेश्चंस ऑन टुडेज टॉपिक, दैट इज प्रीएम्बल. इस टॉपिक पे जो क्वेश्चंस प्रीवियसली पूछे गए हैं कमीशन ने ये एक बार सॉल्व कर लीजिए. We will also see few questions today itself. So let us solve some previous year questions. पहला क्वेश्चन देख लेते हैं. Which of the following is true about preamble? So statement 1 says it is not enforceable by courts. Statement 2, it is a part of constitution. Statement 3, preamble enshrines narrow objectives of the government. तो options भी देख लेते हैं. Option A is only 1 and 2. Option B is only 2 and 3. Option C only 2. And option D all of the above. So you can take some time. देख लीजिए अगर आपको इसका आंसर आ रहा है. Now we have discussed almost all areas of preamble. Okay, so let us try to solve it. पहला स्टेटमेंट देख लेते हैं. इट इज नॉट एनफोर्सेबल बाय कोर्ट्स. सो हमारी एक प्रीवियस स्लाइड्स है तो इसका ये लास्ट पार्ट देख लीजिए जो ब्लैक में हाईलाइटेड है. लुक एट पॉइंट 2. प्रीएम्बल इज नॉन जस्टिशिएबल एंड नॉन एनफोर्सेबल. सो आवर स्टेटमेंट 1, इट इज नॉट एनफोर्सेबल बाय कोर्ट्स, दिस इज ट्रू. सेकेंड स्टेटमेंट, इट इज अ पार्ट ऑफ कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन. सो अगेन ये भी हमने डिस्कस किया था. इज प्रीएम्बल अ पार्ट ऑफ कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन. तो सुप्रीम कोर्ट के जजमेंट्स हमने इस पे देखे थे. सो इन केशवानंदा भारती केस सुप्रीम कोर्ट मेंशन दैट प्रीएम्बल इज अ पार्ट ऑफ कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन. अगेन द सेम जजमेंट वाज अपहोल्डेड इन द LIC of India case. So what is the current opinion? Preamble is a part of constitution. So statement 2 is also right. Statement 3, preamble enshrines narrow objectives of the government. So we have seen that almost all aspects of government, that is sovereign, republic, democratic, secular, socialist, nature of the state and aspiration, justice, liberty, equality and fraternity. तो हमने इसमें देखा कि more depth in justice, political, economic and social justice. So statement 3, that is preamble enshrines the narrow objectives, this statement will be wrong because it almost gives the essence of the constitution. तो हमारा आंसर क्या रहेगा? Statement 1 and 2 is correct. So our correct option will be option A. Let us try to solve another question. Consider the following statement. Preamble was amended only once through 44th Constitutional Amendment Act 1976. Second statement, secular, socialist and liberty were added to the constitution through 44th Constitutional Amendment Act of 1976. So question कहता है which of the above statements are true? एक बार ऑप्शंस भी देख लेते हैं. ऑप्शन ए ओनली 1, बी ओनली 2, ऑप्शन सी बोथ 1 and 2, डी नीदर 1 नॉर 2. ये सारे क्वेश्चंस एग्जाम में अपीयर हो चुके हैं. सो वी आर सीइंग द प्रीवियस ईयर क्वेश्चंस. सो इफ यू आर एबल टू सॉल्व इट राइट, सो यू आर मोर क्लोजर टू क्लियरिंग द एग्जाम इन दिस अटेम्प्ट. So let us try to come to the answer itself. Now focus on the terms amended only once via 44th Constitutional Amendment Act. Now हमारी एक previous slide है that is amendability of the preamble. इसे भी हम देख लेते हैं. Can preamble of Indian Constitution be amended? So answer is yes. ठीक है. एग्जाम्पल के तौर पे हमने देखा था इट वॉज अमेंडेड वाया 42nd अमेंडमेंट एक्ट. इट एडेड द वर्ड्स सोशलिस्ट, सेक्युलर एंड इंटीग्रिटी. सो गोइंग बैक टू द क्वेश्चन, स्टेटमेंट 1 क्या कहता है? 44th कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल अमेंडमेंट एक्ट, तो स्टेटमेंट 1 गलत हो गया. सेकेंड, लुक एट द वर्ड सोशलिस्ट, सेक्युलर, सोशलिस्ट एंड लिबर्टी, जबकि कौन सा वर्ड ऐड किया था? सेक्युलर, सोशलिस्ट एंड इंटीग्रिटी. ओके, एंड अगेन इट वाज एडेड बाय द 42nd कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल अमेंडमेंट एक्ट. स्टेटमेंट 2 में क्या दिया है? द वर्ड लिबर्टी, विच इज रॉन्ग. 44th Constitutional Amendment Act, again it is wrong. So both statement 1 and statement 2 are false. So our answer will be D, neither 1 nor 2. Okay, so with this we have completed the topics that we have studied today. Let us have a quick glance. सो ये सारे टॉपिक्स हमने पढ़े, स्टार्टिंग फ्रॉम द ऑब्जेक्टिव रेजोल्यूशंस विच वर गिवन बाय पंडित जवाहरलाल नेहरू. सो दिस हेल्प्ड इन द इनकॉर्पोरेशन ऑफ द प्रीएम्बल. नेक्स्ट इज इंट्रोडक्शन टू द प्रीएम्बल. आइडियल्स एंड एस्पिरेशंस हमने डिस्कस किए. उसके बाद में द डेट ऑफ एडॉप्शन. सो वी सॉ 2 इंपॉर्टेंट डेट्स, 26th नवंबर and 26th January. Is preamble a part of constitution? So our answer was yes, it is a part of the constitution. And can preamble be amended? Answer again is yes, but without affecting the basic structure. Ideals and aspirations भी हमने देखे थे. Ideals were sovereign, republic, democratic, secular and socialist. Aspirations भी हमने देखे constitution के, that is justice, fraternity, equality and liberty. So this completes our chapter of preamble. So if you have understood it completely, this topic preamble, this is from the subject Indian polity. So you have moved one step closer to clearing this exam. Best wishes. Thank you. We have sent you the app download link. Also it is mentioned in the description section given below.